more related than... They look more like each other than I look like anybody in my family. I'm just going to put that on Front Street right now. There is a factory where those were being cranked out for about 10, 12 years.
Yeah.
Called Mrs. Culkin's Womb, I guess.
You want to talk some Trek?
Sure. Do you want to...
I don't watch any of them.
You don't watch any of the Treks?
No.
I watched them a lot of it at the gym, getting ripped, leaving hateful Facebook status posts.
This week, so.
Yeah.
Well, this week we're going to discuss Where No One Has Gone Before, Lonely Among Us, and Justice. Should we have an announcement to make about the next generation? Do you want to wait? Do you want to?
It's pregnant.
It's pregnant. Oh,
you sounded like Oprah there.
Do you want to spill the beans now? Or do you want to wait?
Let's do it. Let's do it now.
Well, we started this project watching an episode a day of the original series.
Yes. And that proved a very taxing task.
Yes, there were some weeks where the episodes would run together and
could not tell them apart.
And I mean, it's also 7 is still a lot. It's a lot of Trek. It's like 6 hours. And also the quality of a lot of those episodes seems
wanting.
Yeah.
As the show wore on, and just pounded us into submission.
But Next Generation is different. It's a different animal. It's a different beast.
It's more watchable even when it's bad.
So, because of the 7 and how it got to be a chore almost. We didn't want to get burned out, so we decided to cut it down to 3 a week.
Yes,
but we're having so much goddamn fun.
We want to share that fun with you.
We're gonna up our Trek talk to 4 episodes a week.
Yeah.
More Trek for your buck.
Right, for your free buck.
And then some weeks we'll fucking talk about 5 episodes. Our goal is to end a season
on an episode.
Not to be like, well, we got 2 more episodes left in this season. We'll talk about those tomorrow. Then because this, I mean, unlike the original series, none of that matter. There's no continuity.
Right.
This does have it. So we don't want to leave any dangling
threads.
Dangly. All right. So
you doing the Godfather poster there?
Trying to. I was doing the NSYNC Bye.
Oh. Our generation's reference to Puppet Strings.
Yeah. Our generation's Godfather. So Where No One Has Gone Before, the title, obviously a throwback
to the pilot.
To the pilot Where No Man Has Gone Before. I like the no one. I like the gender neutral change.
Me too. That it feels like Trek. I don't know how deliberate it actually is, or if it was just sort of we can't say that anymore. But it feels like Trek officially announcing this is going to be different. This is not going to be as rapey as you're used to.
It's not going to be. I mean,
all you rape enthusiasts.
Code of honor aside.
Yeah.
It's not going to be as racist. It's not going to be as sexist or misogynistic. We're gonna have dudes in skirts, and it's gonna live up to the promise of equality that the original series promised.
Yep. And I think this is the first episode that kind of really, the pilot was really good, but the first regular series episode that really seems to do something interesting to me. It's a really Where No One Has Gone Before is a really good episode. It's the first one I really, really liked.
Well, it starts off with they bring on Mr. Kaczynski, who is some big brain
engineering expert,
warp engine dude, and he's got
he's the Mark Zuckerberg of warp engines.
Exactly,
and in more ways than one.
And so they bring him on, and he had sent his I guess his facts and figures in to the Enterprise before,
right?
And their engineers we can't get
this doesn't make any
we can't get heads or tails on this son of a gun. And the guy's and he's really full of himself. He's really arrogant and pompous. He's oh, of course not. Blah 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 blah. And he's got his homie who's he's a humanoid.
Name's the Traveler.
His name's the Traveler, which is
weird
but dope at the same time. And he looks.
That's the Traveler.
Him? That's the Traveler. Don't make eye contact with him. Do not look him in the eye.
Do not look at the Traveler in the eye.
So Kaczynski's it's fucking easy, dude. Let me do it. And he's Traveler, punching the codes. He's I could do it, but he can do it much faster. Even faster than me, if you can fucking believe it. Like, dude's really got a hard-on for himself.
He is pro himself.
Wesley shows up, and
he's looking over the shoulders
of the Traveler, and the Traveler's like he doesn't hate Wesley as much as everyone else seems to.
He's like, hey.
He's like, what's up, little homie? What's up, little shaver? And he's like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm doing this. He's like, oh, what if you do that? He's like, oh, that's really astute, man. Fucking daps. And so they have like a friendship. They bond, yeah. And so they do the warp, and they end up doing like
way faster,
like beyond warp 10, to the point where, like, I think at one point Data's like, I don't know how fucking fast we're going.
Yeah, basically, and they end up like millions, I think.
Yeah,
light years from home.
And Picard tells him reverse engines. And Data's like, no one's ever reverse engines going this fast before. And he's like, no one's ever fucking gone this fast before. Just do it, you bag of bolts. And so they do, and they stop, and they're like, we don't know where the fuck we are.
They're in this awesome, like, blue place.
Oh, they're at the edge of the universe.
Yeah. And while this is happening, the Traveler's sort of phasing in and out.
Yeah, like as they're traveling.
Yes, the Traveler does a little traveling of his own.
And Wesley's like, you guys,
and they're like, shut up, Wesley.
The Traveler's heard. They're like, shut up, boy. So everyone's like, Kaczynski, what the fuck? And he's like, oh, it's not what I meant to do, but isn't this fucking awesome? It's fucking radical, dude. And some people are like, let's kind of like take a look around, like while we're here.
Yeah, look. If we're stuck here,
I mean, it's like if we are like an exploratory mission,
right?
Like, let's go ahead and like jot some shit, maybe take down some notes.
Well, yeah, I mean that they are primarily an exploratory vessel, so.
But they do the math, and I think if they travel back,
mm-hmm.
I guess at like a normal speed,
mm-hmm.
like if they're not able to attain the speed that they were at when they got there,
mm-hmm.
it would take like hundreds and hundreds of years to get back home, and that's like the big bum 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 fade to black commercial by Charmin.
Right.
So they're able, and at this point everyone starts hallucinating.
Yes, seeing awesome shit,
all sorts of awesome shit. Apparently Tasha Yar grew up on a rape planet.
Yeah. Well, she talks about it in one of the early episodes about running from the rape gangs and all that. So, like, she's a flashback to her time on Warrior Planet.
Yeah, on Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome Planet. Picard sees his mom, and she's like, "Why don't you have some tea with me, Jean-Luc?
Yeah,
you are always an embarrassment. You're always a disappointment."
It's the most boring fantasy.
He's gonna hang out with his mother.
Mm.
Like, Tasha Yar's running from a rape gang.
And he just has to deal with his snooty mother's disapproval.
Mom!
This is what drove him to be the great bald man he is today.
Shit could be bigger.
She's like Jack Donaghy's mom.
Oh, this is your ship?
Is it the biggest one in the fleet? It's the newest and best. Didn't really answer my question, did you, dear?
So no?
So no?
So no?
Is that what I'm getting? Yes?
So they figure out that the Traveler is well, first
they figure out that he's awesome.
They figure out the Traveler's awesome. Well, they figure out that these are just hallucinations, and it's all in their mind's eye. Or whatever. And so at one point, Picard sends out an APB, and he's like, I don't know what the fuck's going on, but these are just visions brought on by our thoughts. So he says something like, so be careful what you think. And there's one crew member who's like, what the fuck?
Seriously?
Be careful, okay.
Alright, well
why didn't anyone think I want a delicious sandwich? Sandwiches are good.
Sandwiches are delicious.
How is that possible?
That sandwiches are good?
Yeah. Well, I mean, because it's just
it's a pile of awesome things. And you get to decide, usually,
and that's usually the go-to, right? Well, I don't know,
that's the default mode of food.
Yeah, well, I mean, as far as, when you envision, oh, I want a delicious sandwich, or, I want something delicious, a sandwich.
Right.
The thing with sandwiches, though, is the prep time to the eating time, that ratio is all fucked up.
Well, it depends on what kind of sandwich you're making, right? Like peanut butter and jelly takes longer to eat than it takes to make, unless you're a pig.
You just shove it all in your mouth, just ball it up and put it in your mouth.
One peanut butter wad for like 30 minutes, trying to get it unstuck in the roof of your mouth.
Yeah, choke to death on your peanut butter wad.
I'm talking about like a basic like a club sandwich.
Yeah, that would take some time.
With the lettuce,
and the little toothpick
the mayo,
with the ribbon on it.
Yeah, I remember I was making a sandwich one time, and it took me I made 2 sandwiches, and
both for you,
both for me. Well, we ate the sandwich.
Yeah.
And I was a growing boy. I was like,
oh, how old?
I was like 13.
Okay.
So my metabolism is all out of whack, and I'm like, I
need more. Yeah.
Like, give me more sustenance, and I'm gonna run around,
burning
for 4
it
hours.
up and jerking it off.
And so I make these sandwiches, and they take me like 10 minutes to make.
Mm-hmm.
And then my mom comes downstairs, and she's like, "Oh, can I have a bite?" And I'm just like, I don't want to be a dick, be like, "No, woman who gave me life, you can't have a bite on my sandwich." But at the same time, I know what's gonna happen. She comes in, and I'm like, "Yeah, sure." She comes in and takes the biggest fucking bite. I knew she was gonna do that because that's her fucking game. That's her jam. Big bites. They call her Big Bites Garcia. That's what they call her.
Is she like Sam Jackson in Pulp Fiction when he's asking to try the burger?
Yeah, pretty much.
And then drank all of your soda?
And then she drank all my Sprite.
She fucking killed you.
Yeah, and then she killed me.
That's some bullshit.
It's weird.
It's weird, but hey, thanks for giving me life and then taking it away, Mom.
So
sandwiches, yeah.
So sandwiches. So someone made someone a sandwich? Oh yeah, everyone's envisioning
Why didn't someone?
Yeah, everyone's envisioning like their snooty mom and in Walls of Fire.
Why are they? Do they ever explain satisfactorily why they're seeing this? Is it just because of the part of the universe they're in, or is it something the travelers doing?
I think it's the part of the universe they're in. Yeah, for sure.
So they're in basically like the bad acid trip part of the universe.
Yeah.
What they needed to do was stop back in the good acid trip part of the universe, where like you see God's face and you figure out what your direction is, and wow, look at your hands. The
little bear from the Grateful Dead's hanging out.
Exactly.
And you're just smoking bowls.
Right.
So they figure out the traveler he's it's not Kaczynski at all. He's Bogota. He's a fraud. He's a charlatan.
Right.
And it's all the traveler.
And the traveler has no problem with this up till now.
Yeah. Well, he's like
he gets free passage on the ships, and travelers like fucking traveling.
And he's like, all right. And so that's why Kaczynski, like all those like numbers that he sent in before
don't make sense.
Didn't work. Didn't make any sense. Because it was actually the traveler doing everything.
Yes.
So he gets them back. Well, first he tells.
Who's he tell?
He tells Picard, right?
Oh.
That what?
What? Hang on, I gotta bring it up by accident.
He tells Picard, he's like, "Hey, there's like he brings up Mozart, and he's like, he's like, this little homie could write." Crazy symphonies when he was like 6 years old. Like there's precedent for that kind of intelligence and that kind of talent. Wesley has that, but for spaceships.
Yeah. And
he's like, don't tell him. Oh, don't you fucking tell him.
I will phase you right out to the back.
Fucking keep your mouth shut. But,
encourage him.
Don't be a dick about things.
Right.
Stop calling him boy.
Call him by his name.
His name is Wesley. Stop being such a French-English dick.
Frenglish.
All right, I'll talk to you later.
Yeah, I'm out. Traveler out.
Traveler out. TT out. Which I kind of like. I mean,
I like that too. I think it's the first real like plot thread getting kind of dropped.
And and we're only a few episodes in, and I don't know to what extent. I read a lot of beef that trekkers have with Wesley is that he seems to like solve he's
kind of the Deus Ex Machina.
Yeah, he like solves the problem at the end of the day, and
he kind of has a few times already.
But I don't know if it gets to the point where it's kind of annoying, like it happens like every other week or it happens way too often. I don't know this, but it so far I like it makes sense. That he kind of knows more than he should.
Mm-hmm.
And
right, well, that he's too smart for his own good, but also really handy to have around at a pinch. It's like early gospel stuff. It's like Jesus in the temple, preaching, and his parents are like, "What the fuck?"
It's like, "Where have you been?"
Like, in my father's house.
Like, this is your father. He's like, no, stupid.
My father in heaven.
That calls his mom stupid.
Stupid.
No, stupid.
He hasn't been baptized by John the Baptist
Yeah,
yet.
so I mean, all that stuff's going to just
Right.
wash off.
All of his teenage